Hey everybody, how you doing today? Okay, we are on our next part of our mixed media, which I think is the funnest part. Um, or more fun, or whatever. If you are just seeing this video for the first time and want to join in, go back a few videos. You will see the mixed media part 1. I believe this is part 4. This is just done on a piece of mixed media paper that I got in the mixed media tablet. You can use a canvas, you can use watercolor paper, you can use printer paper, you can use canvas board, you can use whatever. You can use a piece of cardboard, which I've done paintings on, and I have another piece of cardboard to do a painting on and give away. I might do it a mixed media piece. I got a suggestion from my girl Veronica, because now I remember her name. I want to call her April because she looks like my best friend that I grew up with. Every time I see her face, I'm like, oh my God, it's April, but it's not. It's Veronica. And anyway, I'm not going to go on for an hour about that. However, she suggested doing a mixed media piece, a Christmas piece. So I thought maybe I would do. It's so funny because I just got rid of my 3 packs of Christmas stamps. Somebody else, because I don't use them. Somebody else would use them and needed them, and I said, here you go, take them. And that's funny that she asks today, but it's okay because I can handle it. I can deal with it. So if you're interested in starting this, go back a few videos. It's Mixed Media Canvas Part 1. This is Part 4. We laid our paint down. We laid texture down, as you can see. We laid paint down first, and then our second video we laid some paper, and then we painted our paper and added some texture with some tissue paper. The tissue paper is right here. And some dryer sheets that had been used, and some regular cloth lace, and just a stamp to show you that when you use white tissue paper and you stamp on it and you put it on something, you know, for whatever reason, if you're using an art journal or whatever, it's a fun technique to have. You can't see, especially because you can just see the dots of the glitter that's on the white tissue paper all in and around the owl, but the owl's on tissue paper glued onto here. Okay, so a few things I want to get into. Number one, I want to talk about Google very quickly. I have a lot of people leaving me comments, and I'm so thankful for them, but I cannot comment back because unfortunately, Google makes you be friends. I shouldn't say makes you be friends because it's not making me be friends with anybody, but you have to be friends with the person that is commenting. So if I'm not friends with you on Google, you're not in my circle, I can't comment on your comment that you leave me. So I'm trying to go through. I have over 1,000 people on here, and I notice a lot of people leave comments and I can't reply, and that's one of the reasons. So if you're on Google, just friend me. It's Kelly Donovan. I think they made me change it from Knitting and Things to Kelly Donovan. And I will friend you, and then we can get on that way. They are changing things so dramatically. It's horrible. I hate not being able to comment to people. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. So if I'm not commenting back, please do not think, oh, that's snobby bitch, because I'm not being a snobby bitch. I'm just... I try and I can't. So I was even going to write down names of who I can't comment so you see. So you see that I see your comments. I want to comment and I can't, and it makes me frustrated. Secondly, I want to show you this really cool technique that was in my last video. I know probably everybody's already seen it already. It's called peeled paint. Look how freaking cute. How cool is this as a technique? The bottom was painted black. And then I put some Vaseline on it. And then I painted over it with green. And then I used my heat gun. And then I wiped it. And then I used some antique white on top of it. And it's like a peeled paint look. And this is so cool for a background. I'm going to do this on the background. The only thing I did wrong was I let this dry too fast, the top layer. So I didn't get as much off as I wanted to, but I really dig the way it looks. It looks like you're walking into like an old creepy house or like an old jail or something, and the walls have been painted. So I love this look. Anyway, that's just excitement that I like. Okay, let's get started. Next, our next layer is going to be stencils and stamps. Now, here's the thing. I know not everybody has stencils. I know not everybody has stamps. I'm going to show you a few very inexpensive things to do if you don't. And here's where you make a decision. You can choose now. I don't know. You can go on to this part with me now that I'm going to do. Okay, kind of decide, what am I going to put on here? Well, I'm probably going to do one of the faces, one of the dolls that I do. Whether it be a folk art doll, or I'm going to be getting ready to do my video for the more realistic looking face. And I haven't decided. I don't know if you guys had seen on YouTube before they made me change it. I had an orange haired girl on. She was my orange goddess, and I had given it away to a friend of mine. I don't know if I want to do a full face, or I want to do a little whimsical doll, like little whimsical girl. But I want to, I want you to kind of think what you want. Do you want to do a butterfly? Do you want to print out a butterfly from a picture on the internet, one of your favorite, and put it in the middle? Do you want your this to be this way or sideways? These are all decisions that kind of think about. You don't have to have a concrete decision, but kind of think about it, see what you think. That's number one. Number two, cheap stencils and cheap stamps. Well, of course, and I'm going to be having giveaways for these. This is some Punchinella I have. These are, I'm going to use 2 of them, but these are the fun foams that I give away to use as stamps, and I'm going to show you how they work on here. I'm also going to use markers on some of the stamps to show that you can use markers on your stamps and not have to always use paint. Oh, I have, I don't know why I grabbed 2 of the same. These are great. These you get at the stencil area where they have, I think Plaid makes these, but where they have all the things that you can like put up on the walls, all the stickies and all that kind of stuff. It's where the small acrylic paints are, like the big bunch of them. And these are like $1.99 a piece. Sometimes they're on clearance for $1. I buy them every time I go and see a different one because I have a lot of them. They're very cheap. They're fantastic. And, you can pick out and just use a flower if you want, or, use whatever, or just plop it down and use the whole thing. I have these plastic things I buy. I buy a lot of stuff on clearance. This is called a mask. So you would lay it down, spray around it. Or you can even take your acrylic paint and blot around it if you want. These are great when you find them on clearance. But I'm going to be cutting out a bunch of these off of my Sizzix soon and be doing giveaways. We got our handy dandy alphabet, the ABCs. This is well loved and used. This even has a little, this is so cute. I love this because it has a ruler on the top, which I would never use it, but I thought how cute for kids. And I probably stole this from my kids years ago, but it's great to, put down and take your brush and put paint in or spray it. Dollar store cheap. These are great. You can get these at the dollar store. These are letters. You can see it's back and forth, and these have numbers. And what I use these for these are called DIY thickers. I got these at the dollar store, I believe. And what they're technically for is when you take a letter out, like if you want to spell a word, as you can see on here, you take the sticker paper off, and then you put your embossing powder on it, and then you emboss it, and you have an embossed letter. What I use these for, and anytime I see these on clearance, I'm so itchy. Whenever I see these on clearance anywhere, any letters, anytime, anywhere that are cheap, I buy them, because what I do is I stick them on here in different, whether I want to make words, or I just want to do just random patterning, and I'll just put them down anywhere that can be, you know, make no sense, and just put the letters and spray them. And then lift up the letter, and then you have the letter underneath with some spray. It gives you some texture. Very cheap and easy, and you can, you know, buy those. I'm going to use a regular, this is, I got this with a coupon, the Crafters Workshop. I got this at Michael's. Some of these were in the dollar bin at Michael's, and I used them a lot. I buy a lot on clearance. I don't just buy these outright, trust me. I love these. These are foam. You can get these in where they have all their t-shirt stuff, or where I showed you the one yellow one prior, this, they have these big foams. And these are fantastic. They don't have the most exciting patterns, but they have patterns for you when you're doing mixed media. And I love them. And then I got these at the dollar store. There was a package. They came all in a line. There's Inspire, Be Happy. I mean, like, you know, nice words or whatever. I can't remember them all right now. There was like 4 or 5 words, and I use these a lot, so I chose Inspire for today. Very cheap. They're the foam. You can actually, you know, probably cut these out yourself in your, you know, write on a piece of craft foam, fun foam, and write out, you know, and cut them out if you wanted and use them separately. But Michael's has, plus I have all my things I've made that we'll be using because I want to kind of do that. And then I got this on clearance at Michael's for 99, is that 99 cents? 99 cents? Like I said, I always look for clearance. Now, let me tell you, this is from Michael's. They have them in regular word letters, and they have them in cursive. And these were 99 cents. They're Studio G. And this is the first set I ever bought when I was starting out and couldn't afford much of anything. And they give you your letters, and you can spell out, you know, whatever you want. So look at these. These are in those things that when you're walking through the aisles or like towards the front of the registers, and they have like these tiers, these metal tiers where they have like all their extra little stamps and stuff for $1, $2, and like there's like a 4 metal tier thing. Always look in there because they're all, I mean, mine has them. They're always there. And you can get them in cursive and in different fonts. And you get 30 stamps. And they're like $1. And, you know, for $1 to have stamps and spell out words that you want to spell, you can't beat it. And then I just have some of my washi tape I'm going to use. Probably some of my regular tape if I can find it. And then this is can be used as a stamp or as something to spray through. I got this from the dollar store that you do your shelf lining with. And this is awesome texture. I got a couple sprays here that I'm going to use that you can definitely, I showed you how to make your own. And I have a few, I'm going to use what I usually have here, my black and my blue. And then I have some of these, which you can, these are Versamagic. I bought them with a 50% off coupon. You can, you know, use whatever you have. Use your acrylic paint. You don't have to use that. And then the good old bubble wrap. Much loved. And I'll probably cut it down a bit. You can see it when I get bored, I pop them. But I'll cut them, and then these, I love these big ones because after a while, as you can see, they kind of get wrinkly. So you get all this extra cool texture. I don't know if you can see that. So when you stamp it, so that's very cool. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So let's get started. Okay, first, let's just start stamping wherever we want. Maybe I want my flower. And maybe I'll just do a flower. And I will just take one of my brushes. And I will take, I'm kind of sticking with blues and purples and pinks. And so I don't want to really lose that. Let me see here what we got. It's red, it's on red. I'm just gonna put a little bit of hot pink right here. Any brand, like I said, go start out your Roy G. Bibs. You can mix pink and white together. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna turn my computer so I can actually see what I'm making sure I'm on camera. Okay, so we're gonna work on this flower. I'm gonna wet my brush just a little bit and then dab it off, just gives it more pliable. I'm gonna stick my brush in there and I'm going in the pink and I'm just going on. And I'm gonna go, and it's gonna mix with all the different fabrics and colors that you have already. Don't worry about it being perfect because you really don't want it to be as you know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't come out perfect. And we have our first thing. Now I love turning it over and just sticking it somewhere, sticking my hand down, kind of gets that extra paint off. And look, I got a little stencil in my hand. Let me just, and what I'll normally do is 2 colors of something. If that I mean the same color of 2, at least 2 things. So that is just kind of wiping the stencil off, getting the negative of it on your piece. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to add some texture. And it's just a little bit of color, as you can see. Nothing major. And I'm going to wipe off my stencil a little bit. Not much. I don't care. I have so many stained stencils, but just to get it out of the things. And then with the pink, I want to make sure you guys can get it. Yeah. With the pink, let's use one of our other stencils. Come here, baby. Let's do our heart stencil, shall we? Let's lay our heart stencil over here. Again, and you can water your paint down if you want it to be a little bit watered down. Kind of just lay it and just go at it. Go around it. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Wait 1 second. I'm going to go around it. And if you can't get it in, just scrub it in. It doesn't, you just want the general idea. We're not really, this is just another texture. And I'll clean up the rest because I only have a little bit of that pink left. And go through the middle. And then I'm going to take, now if you make your own sprays, wonderful. But I'm going to take just some blue Dylusions. I buy these off of Blitsy. Go on Blitsy.com or I'll send you a link with my, because if you buy underneath me, I get like 5% or something towards my next purchase. But if not, you don't have to. Just go to Blitsy.com. That's where I got these at for $3.33 a piece. Love them. They don't have them every week, but when they do, I buy. I just have the basic colors. Right now, I'm on the lookout for white. My stores don't sell them, but I'm just going to give it a spray. And you can go deeper, you know, darker if you want. I leave that sit there for a minute, you know, just to kind of soak in. And then I'll lift it up. And look how cool that looks. Now that's your acrylic paint on this side. That's your spray on the other. If you have a homemade spray, do your homemade spray. Now look how great that glue stencil is we made. How awesome is that? So let's turn it over here. And I'm going to take, I'll just take my brayer. If I could find my brayer. Where is my brayer? Maybe this is my brayer. Let's see. I like to use my brayer because it does squish off a little bit more, but it does stretch. It will stretch these out. So I just kind of want to get, I don't feel like getting all icky right now. My brayer is not going to do much on a hot glue thing because it'll be a little stretchy. But you can see we got some pattern going on there. If you don't like the pattern, then, you know, or it's too much, blot it out. So you just have a hint of something. And then just take your stencil or your stamp, give it a little wipe. And set it aside. Because then we know we used it. Now, I might not even use all these things here. I just wanted to pull some things out so you guys know. Different things to use. So we have that. Let's use our inexpensive things like this from the dollar store. And we'll do something down here. Then we'll use these with our stamp pads. And if you don't have stamp pads, use your ink. Use your use your what? Use your sprays. You know, make sprays that you just lost my whole train of thought. Good gods. All right. Let's do a little paint. Let's see what colors I have here. Let's use, this is just a little metallic paint. It's a, I got it for $1.99 at Michael's. It's a teeny little thing, but I liked it. I'm just going to rinse off my brush. I'm just going to dip it in the lid to get some of it. And that's where I kind of go to put this down. Now this might be an item where it might be better to spray because it will go through. So I will do both so we see which one works better. You just want to pounce it down no matter what. Now this is a scruffy brush, which is for pouncing, so to say. So if you have like an older brush and all that, you don't mind pouncing down, but you can use whatever brush you want. And I just kind of push real hard. And this is a lighter blue because it's like a, see if I can put it here. I don't know if you can see that. It's like translucent. So if I put it on here, you can still see what's underneath of it, kind of thing, which is pretty cool because you just want to add a little bit. All right, I'm going to pounce it there. Pounce it there, pounce it. Oh, I know what else I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little bit and go over my lace because I need my lace colored. I'm only using a little bit at a time. That's why it's not going on as much. But you see how you work it around? And I'll bring it closer up in a minute. And you can still see in the lace the underneath part of the paper, which I like. And we can even go over the owl with this color if we want. And the owl, see how like transparent it is? The owl still shows through. And I'll only do half him and not below. And then do the other part in another color. Okay, so we have our little dots there. I didn't shake it, so that might have something to do with it too. But I don't care. Let's use some bubblegum pink over here in a spray. And we'll lift it up. Oh yeah. It's hard to see because I did it on top of the, you can see it here. But I did it on top right here of the jar sheet. So it kind of got into the fuzziness. But I don't care. It'll just add some sparkle and pizzazz. And then you just turn this over wherever you want. Take a paper towel or whatever you have. Push it down so it gets the rest of that in there, on there. And you see, you got the opposite right there. And I'll hold that up in a minute. Then you just give this a quick wipe. Throw that there. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So see how it did? My goodness, I'm dying here. That's the one where we sprayed and we did my hands are shaky today. And that's the one where we turned it over. So you're getting all this great color and texture. All right, let's get off here. Now let's go into some paint. I want a bright yellow, I think. I'm just going to use processed yellow, whatever brand you have. I'm just going to put, well, quite a bit. Put some on the mat. I'm going to take a brush. I'm going to just dip my brush in it. I don't know. I'm going to show you how much. It's just right there. I'm just going to lightly dip my brush in it and kind of blot it out here. This is a floppy brush. It must be a moppy brush, like one of them moppy brushes. We need to brighten this up a little bit. So let's take our foam. We're just going to lightly, see how I'm doing it? Lightly brush up and down. Take some more of that. This seems like a brush. I see bristles are coming out. So that's the kind of brush it is. Probably bought it at the dollar store, which doesn't matter. Just pull the bristles out. I buy from everywhere. I'm not picky. Would I like to have very expensive brushes? You bet your butt I would. And I have some nice brushes, but I'm not picky. I'll use, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm painting to sell, I use my good stuff. If not, I just play with whatever I have. Now I have that yellow one there. I'm going down to this corner. I'm just going to pop it down and give it a touch. Try to get it everywhere that you get it. This is, you can use your roller at this point. I don't know where mine went, so I'm not. And look how cool. Okay? That is a piece of kids' fun foam, which I'm having to give away soon on. Now I have a little bit of paint left on there, so I'm just going to push it on here. It's not going to come out beauteous, but it gives a little bit, and I'll show that on the camera. I'm just going to give this a little wipe. I don't do this often, but with these kind of things I do when they have little grooves in them, because sometimes the paint can dry, and that adds a whole other texture. I mean, you can still use them, but if I'm sitting here, if you get in the habit, if you're just starting this and doing these with me, get in the habit of just giving it a quick wipe, or have a bowl next to you, like a crappy bowl you buy from the dollar store with some water in it, and throw all your stamps and stencils in your water while you're working. Put it on the floor or wherever, and throw everything in there. And then when you're done, you can go back and look at that yellow on top of that. Look how beautiful. I mean, look at the texture on there. Delicious. Let's go on to our white one, shall we? Okay. Yeah, goofy. Uh-huh. And you could pick a different color than yellow. You pick whatever color you want. I'm just trying to brighten up a little bit. You want to use white, use white. You want to use orange. And just lightly brush it on. You don't even have to get all of them if you don't, want to. It doesn't matter. There goes that hair on there. I'm going to have some hair texture. I'm going to have some brush hair texture. Get off there. See, I'm going to fight with that one brush hair because it's going to, that's when today is a very high OCD day. Too much information. Okay, here we go. Where shall we stamp him? Oh, I think over here. And do the same thing. Push it down, push it down, push it around. Yeah. Lift it up, and have a party. Look how cute. Look, all right? I ain't telling you no crap. Now, I'm going to put another coat on here. It's mixing with green I have somewhere. That's probably the spray. I don't care because this is going to add some color. I'm just going to do a quickie on that one. And I'm going to add it down here. And I'm not going to worry about pushing it down everywhere. It's just going to give a little bit of texture. Now if you have a piece of paper like I do here that I'm making a background of. Take it, push it down on there to get like a nice another print. So you don't waste paint. I'm always into that. Always have your, I buy, I use a coupon and I buy cardstock. Usually they see more $4.99, so say $5. You get like 100 sheets or 60 sheets. I don't know how many sheets you get. And I use my coupon and I buy a stack of them and I always have them. And when I open my next one, I go buy another one. And I use these. I use them for backgrounds. I use them for, you know, whatever. And look how cool. And you're just adding, you know, your extra texture. Now, if this starts to dry and you're like, oh, it's starting to dry, like that, if that's how you are, spray it with a little bit of water. Take your rag, your paper towel, give it a little wipe on the bubbles. I push a little hard so it gets in those little, but I tend to do everything hard. I'm sorry. Just push it and 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 push it. And if you need more water, do it. It's not gonna it's gonna stain. You know it's gonna stain. Ain't no thing to stain. That almost rhymed. I almost sounded like I was like tough, right? Ain't no thing to stain. No. Yeah, I just like to pretend. But I bet when you're cleaning your things, you're going to be like, it ain't no thing to stain. Don't be lying now. All right, so anyway, you see, it's going to stain. It's not a big deal. It's just getting the bulk of it off, as we did. Now, I'm really liking this yellow look. I did squirt out a bit too much yellow, so that might go on something else. Now, I don't know if you remember the other day. Let me show you real quick while I'm looking at it. Okay. Remember I did my squirt? This is a piece of photo paper that goes in, that you print out photos. This is the back side. This is the shiny side. I did it on that. But look how cool that looks. So I'm going to cut these out because I really love the look that this did with the, this is our homemade spray we used. And I really love the look of this. So I'm going to use that on something. Might even be that piece I'm putting all my extras on. Okay, so now we have that. Let's go into our bubble wrap. Now I'm probably going to cut this down if I can find my scissors. Okay. I'm just going to kind of cut it so it's a more manageable piece. And I'm also going to do, I think, am I going to do yellow? Do I need more yellow? It needs a little brightness over here. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. Oh, look, my brush got a little smudgy there. It's all right, look. Adds a little yellow. All right. Let's get in the middle of the thing here, Kel. All right, so I got my thing. I got my brush. I'm going to put a lot of yellow on it, and I'm going over my bubbles. Now, if you have small bubble wrap, do the same thing. You can see I like popping bubbles. Some aren't as poofy as others. This is not going to be a perfect science. It's going to be a look. You can dip in your thing. You can use a cosmetic sponge. I love going to the dollar store. I have a ton of those cosmetic sponges you buy for $1 and use and dip your cosmetic sponge in your paint. And then go over your bubbles. Works just as good, if not better. And these are all ideas. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Use whatever colors you want, whatever you have at home. I'm going to show you a couple more things. Okay. I'm just going to lay this here. And I'm going to lightly push. You sing it. Push it. Push it good. And I'm going to go push over all the bubbles. And then I'm going to show you something before I pull it up. Which is so fun. I save packing from everything. I drive my husband nuts. I actually think, yesterday I yelled at him, like, why is that big bubble wrap out in the hall? Right outside the door of my Crafter. I thought he pulled it from my thing because I have a big stack of it on the shelf. And yesterday was garbage day. And I'm like, he's trying to get rid of it. Oh, the wind must have blown it out. Who knows if that's the truth or not, but I have so much of this stuff. I love it, love it, love it. And I have the big stuff, the small stuff, love it. Okay, so I pushed. Now look. Look when you push, like how it like smushes up in there. So you're not getting like a full kind of bubble look. That's why I love this, because of the texture. Now let's see the reveal. Some of the bubbles were broke. But you see, you still get some stuff there. I think it's time to retire these bubbles. So I will fold them in half and pop. Because that's what people like me like to do. So that bubble wasn't that great, that bubble wrap. But it doesn't matter. I still got some in here. It mixed around. It kept there. Happy. Nothing's a mistake. This is a mistake right here. I don't like this. And I'm going to wipe it so it blends better. Okay. A little bit happier. Alright, so let me rinse my brush off and wipe off this yellow. And then we're going to go into a few more things, and then we will call it. That I've showed you some stuff. I'm going to wet this yellow to make it printable on something like this. Move this for a second. And we'll print it. I always wet paint and then just stick my paper in it. Just to get up what's there. See? That's what I got from that. Nothing's thrown away. And in this video, in the beginners here, I'm trying not to use expensive stuff. I'm trying to like use stuff that you guys can get at home or get very inexpensively, or you might even have at home. Because the next thing we're going to do is very exciting. We're kind of dark, so we're going to need to use some. I'm not going to use white, but I will use some off-white or cream. So if you have a little off-white or cream, use that. And as you can see, I just put a little dot there. And then I want you to take a cap. It can be a cap from, or you can use, excuse my arm and my armpit, might not be all the way shaped. You can use a bottle, jar, whatever, as big or as small as you want it. You can use this and stamp it in this way. I'm going to use a lid because of the space I have here. It's totally up to you what you do, but let me just show you. You take your lid, whatever lid you have. I'm trying to think where my other, I do have other big lids I use. I also save, but where is it? I also save these from like masking tape, the insides. They're great. And I have them somewhere, but I don't know where. Okay, so just dip your lid all in it. So it's all around, and go in and do that. Dip in, put in. Dip in, and if you have different sizes or different shapes, which I do over, that's where it's at. It's over in my thing. I'll never be able to. I have a big thing of all my. So if you have different, I save the razors off my Intuition, the lids, and they're different shapes. But this is just going to add some extra interest. Now, if you want to use different colors, if you have a metallic color, if you have, you know, whatever color you want to do, I'm just showing you what to do. Okay? And you get all these cool dots. Now, let me just wipe this off. Any size lid, like I said, I mean, you'll start looking at things around your house crazily, like, I can use that. It's really awesome. That lid goes there. We have our paper that will pick up the rest of this. Where's that? I'll spray a little bit of what I was, this is about done. I'll water it down a little bit. We'll put it here. I'll just rub it. I know this seems ridiculous. You could do this with your journal pages, whatever you have. Why waste the paint? Make a back. You're making your first background on a piece. Use a canvas. Use whatever you want. It's all fantastique. Okay. I will probably need a new paper towel after this. Oh, wrong way. Okay. And here we are. So you see where we're going. Last thing I'm going to show. I didn't do much stamping because I'm trying to keep, you know, like it more, you know, like the beginners of natural kind of thing. And I'm also going to be doing more stamping at the end once we get our whatever our main picture is going to be, because we want our picture to be on here, but we want it to look like it belongs on here. So you're going to want to stamp a little bit and do a little bit of that too. So keep that in mind. Not important at this moment, but now something fun you can do. You can take, if you have washi tape, and you're better at finding the beginnings of tape. Tape and me are not friends. I have to tell you. I never can find the beginnings, and when I find it, even clear tape, I love me some clear tape. But even at the beginnings, I mean, it's awful. Look, I don't even know. But let's say, I'm going to give you a few tips right now, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So let's say you like this purple tape. Wash it. Jesus, won't stick on my paper like that. Okay, and you want to add, my gosh. Why? Tape, why? Good God in heaven. Okay, so let's just say we want to lay a piece up here. No, you might want to make sure things are dry, or do this before you stamp. And you want to have a piece of tape over here, which worked out well because it went on the end. These are other ones I have. I'm not going to use, but let's just say we're using tape. Now, before, you could put this on before. Now, my suggestion on things, if you are low on supplies or stamps or whatever, masking tape is delicious. I have thin and I have thick. I'm just going to take me a piece of, and you can make your own washi tape too. There's plenty of tutorials on it. If you want me to make one, I will gladly make one. I don't care. But you can go and add, I love adding tape anywhere. And now you would do that before. Why would I rip it off if I'm not going to use it? I guess we'll see when I go to do a thing on here. 1 second. I'm going to have some tape. I will make sure that I put tons of tape on here because it adds such like texture and stuff, and it's great. So I put that on there. Okay. But before you get to adding any of your sprays or paints or stamps or stencils or whatever, add your tape. Okay? And then once you do that, I would go over with just a little bit of clear Elmer's glue or Collage Podge, Mod Podge, whatever you got, gel medium, you know, whatever y'all use. Just to kind of keep it, you know, down. But no big deal. And one of the last things I want to show you is, let's do something. Because some of these stamps are for after. Let's do this one. If you don't have a lot of paints, you can use watercolor. These are brush markers, but you can use, you know, watercolor markers and just kind of scribble on. You know, or you're on your bed or on the couch and don't feel much like moving, you're working in your art journal, or you're doing this, you know, in your mixed media thing or cosmopolitan composition blah, 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 book. You just kind of color your there. And this is just a galaxy marker. And you kind of do the same thing. This one might be a little dried out. I should go through my markers one day. But I'll just put a little bit on here just to see. And this is just to give you ideas. Yeah, it's kind of dried out, but it makes a good texture on there, so we might save it for after. If you're a little bit dry, if you know it's a little bit dry, just take a very quick spray of water on it. And then let's find a good place we can stamp. Let's stamp over here. And then look at that. And you get a nice stamp. So you can use your watercolor markers, Crayola, all those. You know, and spray it a little bit more if you want. And stamp it over here. And you'll see like the colors start, whoops. We'll start bleeding a little bit together. No big deal. Just adds texture. That was on the bumpy, you know, you're just adding some color. And look, now I'm going in that wet paint that was right there that was like a blob, and I'm just going to like stamp, put that paint on my stamp and go up here where it's dark and just give it a stamp. Now, very hard to see, but when I pick it up, you can see it. You just see that little bit, and that just adds a little bit of light. So, something else you can do. You can use your watercolor paint markers on this. You can use your Crayola markers on this. You can use acrylic paints. You can do whatever you want. So, here we are. And this is where we're at. Yeah. And I like that we added the off-white circles in it because it just adds texture. It just adds a different kind of, it almost looks like those are forward where the rest of it's kind of in the background. Now what you have to do is decide. What are you going to put on here? Remember, if you're going to put tape, any kind of tape, masking tape, washi tape, whatever kind of tape you have, do it before you put your paint down and have fun and stamp. And, you know, like I said, we got a good stencil here. You can do that all over, you know, where you want. I just wanted to show you guys some things to use. Like I said, these glue gun things are great. People keep writing me, can you do some more videos on them? But, I mean, I use them, and I'm going to use them again, you know, once we get to the end. I don't know. Wonder if I just plop down there. This is called Perfect Pearls Mists Turquoise. I'm going to shake it real good and see if we get anything out of it. If it's too light, I don't care. I'm going to lay this flat, though. And let's just see what we get. Because like I said, this part doesn't have to necessarily be perfect. We're going to be covering and adding. Think about if you want to put a, I really got to shake this good because it's been sitting. Think about if you want to put a quote. Okay? Think about if, you know, you want to do anything. But mine's just going to be inspire. Like I said, I have on my stamp there. So, this is very light. And it's just going to add a glimmer. That's, I guess, why it's called Perfect Pearls Glimmer Mist. Which you can make these yourself with Perfect Pearls. It gives you a dazzling pearlescent shimmer. Got those on sale. Let's see that shimmer, shall we? Shimmer away! Do you see a shimmer? I don't see a shimmer. Still wet. Maybe when it's dry, we'll shimmer. Interesting. Let's push the other side down where we sprayed on and see if we get a shimmer. Shall we? Shimmer, shall we? Yeah, I'm funny. To see what it looks like. Maybe everything's too dark. It shows up on the white. I'm just going to give it a little wipe there. You know how I like to wipe. Glue stencil. Hello. I love this one, by the way. And that's what it comes up like. Can you see? It's not going to show up on our painting, on my painting, of course, because let's see. Yeah, see, it's like watercolor. So it must do something fancy. It is very shimmery. I don't know how well you can see the shimmers. But it is shimmery. But it's a very light. Very light shimmer. Damn it. So that's what that is. We could make a round of that. Yeah, maybe it'll give it a little shimmer when it puddles around everything. Okay, this is our next layer. So think about if you want a saying or not. Think about what kind of picture you're going to put in the middle. Are you going to do a doll? I've already done 2 Whimsy doll faces on my YouTube. So think about that. And I'm going to do more of a realistic face. If you want to try that, let me know. You know, like I said, when I do the realistic face, I'm probably going to do a realistic face that you can do with a body, or if you just want to do the whole face kind of on here. Now, what I like to do is I like to draw on a piece of mixed media paper, either paint on that or color pencil on that, the basics, and then I glue it, I cut it out and glue it on here where I want it. Some people like to paint right on here. It depends on my mood. With what I'm doing right now, because it's for beginners, I'm going to do it the way, because like I'll sit in the living room when I'm not feeling well or in bed or whatever and draw. So I have faces that I like. If you do put it on here, you're going to have to put extra coats of, unless you don't mind the blue tint or whatever, you know, the showing through your paint. If you just want to draw on here and do it, you're more than welcome to. A lot of people do. Depends on my mood. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I like most of the time I like to draw and figure out what face will fit onto this. So that's going to be your decision and your choice. And I hope that you enjoyed this. And I gave you some great ideas to play around with. I hope that I helped the people who don't have all the fancy schmancies, use very inexpensive at-home things that you can use. And like I said, that's it. So don't forget to enter for the 2 giveaways I have. I have one for mixed media products and items, and I have one for the amazing clear cast and amazing mold putty. Go back a few videos, you'll see. As long as you're subbed and you enter, you're good to go. And I love you guys. Just keep showing me and tagging me everywhere with your next layer. So be kind to each. Be kind to everyone, because you never know what battle someone else is fighting. And I can't wait to see what you guys do next. How cool. How cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. And all this is a piece of mixed media paper. How cool. So I would love it just like this. But I'm not. I'm going to put something on it. So like I said, you can put whatever you want. You want to do a butterfly, an owl. You want to do whatever you want. So leave me in the comments if you have something that you want me to show you how to draw. And if I can draw it, I'll do it. And show you how to do it if you already have an idea of what you're going to put in the middle. So thank you guys so much. You guys freaking rock. I love each and every one of you. And I just feel so blessed. You guys make me feel so good. So I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.